The Cowboys might be the only team that can rival the Bengals when it comes to having an incompetent owner that causes you to push away the best talent on your team. Micah Parsons just posted this on Twitter, said, "Thank you, Dallas." He posted these screenshots from his notes app talking about the contract situation going on with him because the Cowboys just don't want to sign him. He said, "Yes, I wanted to be here. I did everything I could to show that I wanted to be a Cowboy and wear the star on my helmet. I wanted to play in front of the best fans in sports and make this America's team once again. The team my pops and I grew up cheering for way up in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. Unfortunately, I no longer want to be here. I no longer want to be held to closed-door negotiations without my agent present. I no longer want shots taken at me for getting injured while laying it on the line for the organization, our fans, and my teammates. I no longer want narratives created and spread to the media about me. I had purposely stayed quiet in hopes of getting something done, but since there is confusion out there, let me clear some things up." Welcome to the Cincinnati experience, Micah. I truly can't comprehend Jerry Jones or the Jones family thought process when dealing with Micah Parsons. The dude is easily the best edge rusher in the league, maybe the best edge rusher in history. He's literally a monster masquerading as a man, and the Cowboys are like, you know what? We don't really want you. I had my agent reach out to the Cowboys last offseason after my third year in hopes of getting a deal done early. Unfortunately, the team did not want to start any negotiations at that point. I was okay with that, didn't complain, and focused on the 2024 season. After the season, I told my agent once again to let the team know we were open to negotiation when they met at the Combine. My agent informed me I should wait for other deals to get done because the price would only go up, but I didn't care and wanted to secure myself as a Cowboy long term. This dude could be asking for the most money over anyone else in the league, and he would deserve that, and he didn't even want it, and they still won't sign him. They wouldn't even give him a lesser deal than some other team's going to give him. Because they're the Cowboys. Because Jerry Jones is a fucking idiot. I mean, it all makes sense when you look at that picture of Jerry Jones being at that protest for desegregation. I mean, he probably just thinks of all the players as overpriced cattle. This was before any of the other pass rushers deals got done this offseason. I knew I would be leaving money on the table, but again, I was okay with that. Again, radio silence as far as my extension. In March, I met with Mr. Jones to talk about leadership. Somehow, the conversation turned into him talking contract with me. Yes, I engaged in a back and forth in regards to what I wanted for my contract, but at no point did I believe this was supposed to be a formal negotiation, and I informed Mr. Jones afterwards my agent would reach out thinking this would get things done. But when my agent reached out and spoke to Adam, he was told the deal was pretty much already done. My agent, of course, told him that wasn't the case and also reached out to Stephen Jones. So he's being put through this whole rigmarole, this song and dance with the Jones family. All of them are incompetent bastards. He's openly admitting that he just wants a contract. He just wants a deal. He'll take less money to stay on the Cowboys. He's the best defensive player in the league, and they're like, I don't feel like it. My agent, of course, told him that wasn't the case and also reached out to Stephen Jones. Again, the team decided to go silent. At that point, we decided we would allow the team to reach out to us whenever they decided they wanted to talk, yet still not a call, email, or text to my agent about starting a negotiation. Up to today, the team has not had a single conversation with my agent about a contract. Not one demand has been made by my agent about money, years, or anything else. Still, I stayed quiet, but again, other repeated shots at myself and all the narratives. I have made a tough decision. I no longer want to play for the Dallas Cowboys. My trade request has been submitted to Stephen Jones personally. The Cowboys screwed the pooch. I don't know how. It's literally like you have $1 million in your hand and all you have to do is put it in your pockets, and they just threw it all up in the air. They knew the value that they had and they decided to let it walk out the door. Not walk out, they pushed him out the door. They said, you know what? Let us show you the door. Let's open the door for you and then shove you out of it, Micah. Because for whatever reason, we want our organization to stay as shitty as possible. Jerry Jones is easily like the worst owner of an organization in the NFL. Maybe all of sports, period. And I don't think he gets enough blame for the absolute terrible decisions that he makes. And after that post came out, CeeDee Lamb actually tweeted out himself and said, "Never fails, dog. Just pay the man what you owe him. No need for the extracurricular." And it truly does never fail with Dallas. I mean, they did the whole, like, they have amazing players and then they just refuse to actually keep those players. And that's really just the sentiment from everyone right now. CeeDee Lamb just summed it up in like 2 sentences there. But Jerry Jones apparently has responded to the whole thing. It says, "It took a long time with Emmitt Smith. Same thing with Martin 2 years ago, Lamb last year. When you have the ability for players under contract to basically renegotiate or say, I'm not going to play the contract, then you have those things happen. So whenever you just purposely ignore a player who is blatantly saying that they want to make a deal with you and they're willing to take less money than they deserve and can easily get, that's what you're referring to as him playing the contract. It's his fault, actually. Yeah, let's blame him. From my perspective on this whole thing, it seems like Micah Parsons genuinely wanted to be there. He didn't hold out of training camp. He was performing his usual duties on the team, because CeeDee Lamb held out of training camp last year to get the deal pushed and get it done sooner. But Micah he was telling them he wanted a deal and going on just as usual, and they still won't pay him. That's doofus behavior, peeling gum off the bottom of a desk and chewing it kind of behavior. But also the NFL on their website put out the top landing spots for Micah Parsons, so I thought it'd be fun to talk about where he could potentially land. First up on the list is the Buffalo Bills, who just recently lost Von Miller, so that'd be a really, really good replacement. And of course, all these teams are going to have some sort of hurdles and roadblocks to jump over to get him. It says the Bills don't have the cap space to make the deal to sign him long term. But they did also just get Joey Bosa, so I really don't see the Bills being an actual new home for Micah Parsons. The Carolina Panthers, however, I think I could see that happening. I mean, they definitely need the help. He would be going from one shitty team to another, but maybe they'd actually treat him right, because they failed to sign DK Metcalf. They also failed to sign Milton Williams. So I mean, I don't even know who the Panthers have. Do they have anybody good on defense? The last good defensive player I think I've heard of on the Panthers is Luke Kuechly. Oh yeah, it even says it right there in that first line. They allowed the most points in an NFL season, 534. And I wanted to show you here the Packers, not directly the Packers, I don't think, but it's the sleeper page for the Packers, whatever the hell that is. It says the green and gold would look perfect on you, Micah. Honestly though, I just can't help but feel bad for the Cowboy fans. I don't like the Cowboys or anything, but the Cowboys fans they keep getting bent over by Jerry. It all goes back to Jerry Jones. Every single problem the organization faces, you can trace it directly back to Jerry Jones or the Jones family. Hell, I mean, he might as well be related to John Jones with how much shit he's stirring up. And the next team on the list is the Chicago Bears. The Bears do have Montez Sweat though, so that would be an absolutely gnarly defensive line. That would be really fun to watch. That would be an awesome duo to see. I think that's also just another far off dream. They would have to do a lot of jumping through hoops to make that work. Well, any team's going to have to jump through some amount of hoops, but I think especially with Caleb Williams, they're going to want to keep him long term and all that. They're going to have to fork out a lot of money for him. I don't know. It's possible, but plausible, probably not. And the Browns are on here. Every time I see the Browns, I just can't help but laugh because of how much money they paid Deshaun Watson. That's just like a storm cloud hovering over their head forever. Dear God, that might be the worst deal in history. And they did also just recently pay Myles Garrett. It's probably right here, $123 million guaranteed over the next few years for Myles Garrett. Any quarterback would be terrified to go up against that defensive line. Either if he went to the Bears or the Browns, that would be that would be terrible to play quarterback against one of those two teams. It'd be like being out on the safari and seeing two rhinoceros just charging at you full speed. You can't do anything but just surrender your life. Myles Garrett and Micah Parsons would be unfair. But I don't know. I don't really see them going for Micah Parsons to add to that defense when they still just have such blatantly big holes on the offense. And then they have the Las Vegas Raiders on here, which Max Crosby's another animal. Having them two on the same line would be crazy. And apparently they have $40 million under the salary cap now and would have nearly $100 million in space for 2026. So they're one of the few teams that could, hold that financial burden of actually getting him. And that would also be fun to watch. I just want to see a powerhouse dynamic defensive duo is really what I want to see. But yeah, the AFC West, all the quarterbacks in that division would be shitting their panties. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers are another team here apparently. And all it really says is that they just have the salary cap flexibility to take on the massive contract. But I don't know. I don't know if I really see the Buccaneers making that big of a move right now. And then the Commanders, I don't even know why they're on here, because this is such a hope and a fever dream and a pipe dream that it's definitely not going to happen. It even says it right here. It says that Parsons hypothetically rejoining former Dallas defensive coordinator Dan Quinn feels even lower than the chances of Parsons getting traded at all. It's almost certainly not going to happen. Why'd you put it on the list then? Might as well thrown the Bengals on there too and said he's not going to get traded here, but hey, it's a potential. There's like a 0.1% chance. Anyways, that's all I wanted to talk about. The Dallas Cowboys strike again. Those dastardly devils, they're never going to see a Super Bowl ever again. The Dallas Cowboys being good is a far-off dream. It's a distant memory at this point. But other than that, man, Jerry Jones is an idiot, and I'll catch you in the next one.